In June 2025, the death of a young blogger in police custody ignited a storm across Kenya. Streets filled with chants, murals, and music as a new generation, Gen Z, rose up against injustice. This is the story of Kenya's 2025 protests, their roots, their impact, and the questions they leave for the nation's future. It began with Albert Omondi Ojwang, a blogger, teacher, and father of two. Arrested in Nairobi, he never made it home. Authorities first claimed suicide. But an independent autopsy told a different story: multiple injuries, consistent with assault. Kenyans were outraged. Ojwang's death was the spark. But the fire had been building. High costs of living, allegations of corruption, and long-standing anger at police brutality fueled the protests. For young Kenyans, many unemployed or underemployed, Ojwang symbolized a system stacked against them. The protests were leaderless, yet everywhere. Organized on TikTok, X, and WhatsApp, they spread from Nairobi to Mombasa, Kisumu, and beyond. Music, murals, and spoken word became rallying cries. Gen Z didn't just march, they created. Peaceful marches often turned tense. Tear gas filled the air. In some cities, police fired live rounds. At times, counter-protesters armed with clubs attacked demonstrators. The line between justice and chaos blurred. Authorities launched investigations. Several police officers were arrested and later charged with murder in Ojwang's case. Yet government leaders also condemned what they called violent protesters and pledged to restore order. The mixed response left many Kenyans doubtful. For Gen Z, resistance was more than politics. It was culture. Musicians wrote songs that went viral. Graffiti artists turned walls into protest posters. Spoken-word poets gave voice to a generation determined not to be silenced. As 2027 elections approach, Kenya's leaders face a new reality, a generation that refuses to be ignored. Whether the protests lead to reform or more unrest depends on one question: will those in power listen? From the death of one man came the voice of a generation. The 2025 Gen Z protests are not just about today's anger, they are about Kenya's tomorrow.